Hi, welcome. My name is Stern. I'm here from the Pearlstone Center at my childhood home on Lenni Lenape land in suburban New Jersey. And I'm here today because I want to show you my parents' home composting system. Why do I want to show you that? Well, we are facing a challenging situation in the world today that leaves us stranded in our homes alone, looking for things to do to occupy our time. And one way we could do that is by trying to keep our food waste and lawn scraps in the cycle by composting them. And we need a system for that. A couple years ago, my parents and I built a compost system that they could use every day. And so here we are, and I wanted to show you. Compost is created by combining brown carbon-rich materials with green nitrogen-rich materials to make really fertile soil that you can use in your garden beds and in your potted plants at home. Compost is really great for putting in your garden beds to grow food at your home, or to use in potted plants to make them grow really well. Let me show you my parents' compost system. Come on this way. Here we are at my parents' compost system. As you can see, it looks like a normal trash can, except it's not. It is a compost bin. The thing that differentiates it between being a compost bin and a trash can are these small holes that we drilled in the side of the bin. They are all the way around the bin, and they're also at the bottom of the bin. This is to allow drainage. I mentioned earlier that there are two components of healthy compost, brown and green, or carbon and nitrogen-rich organic materials, but there's also one more really important part to compost, and that's water. It's important that your compost stay hydrated so that the processes of decomposition can be sort of jump-started by water. So come on in and look at this compost bin here. So it's also got air holes drilled at the top. This is all for ventilation and drainage. And here's what it looks like. So you'll notice different pieces of food waste or unused food, eggshells, onions, avocado peels, and you'll also see sort of and those are what we considered sort of green. And this is brown material. This is looks like just lawn trimmings or weeds, some leaves, and yeah, it's mostly leaves and grass. And the way I can tell that this is a healthy compost bin is when you look in deep, you can find worms. These worms are a really good indication of decomposition going down because they are our decomposers. So if I were to dig all the way to the bottom of this bin, that's where you would find the best compost. You can see down there it basically looks like soil. A lot of the eggshells are dropping into there, but you'll see that it's pretty much soil. And come springtime, my dad is going, see I found, don't forget to take your stickers off your bananas. Come spring, this is what is going to make my parents' garden rich and beautiful. So let me show you guys how to add food scraps to your compost, and then we're gonna turn it and say a little prayer. I've got, this is where we put our food scraps in the kitchen. It's a really convenient little container. I think it's made by OXO. And it's nice because it's sealed from the air. So you can pop it open like that. And it's got a nice seal. And here's what we have to put in the compost. We've got some orange peel, a bit of apple, some strawberries that we didn't get to eat, some coffee with the filter paper, which is totally compostable, and a bunch of other stuff. So at the Pearlstone Center, a lot of what we like to do is to put intention into whatever we can to sort of make especially natural processes like this more holy. And we have actually learned a lot. There are a lot of places in Torah and in Midrash that can bring alive a lot of our daily actions, and composting is one of them. Actually, I was showed this by a friend of mine, Noah Weinberg, that there is in the in the morning Amidah prayers, you can find a blessing where we talk about that kind of references compost. So the bracha is Baruch Atah Hashem Mechaye Hametim, which is blessed are you, unfolding existence, who enlivens the dead. So I'm gonna say that with some intention, and I'm gonna put my food scraps in, and then we're gonna turn this compost. Baruch Atiyah Mechaye Hametim. So with that, I'm going to turn my compost with that intention that we were talking about earlier. And the process of turning compost is really important. So the reason we turn compost is to make sure that the new organic material that we put in is covered by at least 5 to 10 inches of other material so that it mixes in and starts to decompose. So I'm doing that with a pitchfork. That's what we found is the best way to do it in this system. And basically, get down deep in there, turn it over, and push it down. Get down deep, turn it over, and push it down. And that looks to be mixed up enough. We just turned our compost. Those worms are gonna go right back down and start doing their work along with their bacteria. And it's important to do that not every time you add compost, but to do a full turning at least once every 2 weeks to a month to make sure that things are getting mixed around. But every time you put food waste or unused food in your compost, you should cover it. So that's what I have to offer you in terms of the how-to of home composting. And I just wanted to leave you with something from Pirkei Avot. Ben Bagbag has a saying that I think relates really well to composting. This is also brought to my attention by my friend Noah Weinberg. It's turn it over again, because all is in it. So all this life that is that will come from this compost, these used materials that gave so much of their life for our nourishment, are going to renew themselves in my parents' garden in this case, and in your garden in your case. So every time we think of the fruits, or we eat the fruits of our labor, we can also think of the work of the worms and the bacteria and those processes that give so much nutrients to our food and to our soul. Thank you so much.